And I'm going to mute everybody in here. Okay. So if you have a question, put up your hand and go from there. But this part will just be mostly review, hopefully. And we'll build up a little review in the morning. So the morning section should be pretty straightforward, hopefully. Where's my mouse? Draw. I'll use a dark one since Emma hates when I don't use a dark one. Okay, so we're going to review here of, yep. Okay, so I'll try to, no, I'll change up then as we go. So here we go. So let's take a look at this parabola here, okay? And you can feel free to type in chat or follow along with a piece of paper and pencil. All these notes you have are also in your section here, okay? So you can refer back to it. Lessons. So, direction of opening. Which way are we directing here? Up? Is the direction of opening up or down? Okay. Actually, take off, if you want to participate, take off your, you can unmute yourself and answer as we go. It's nothing worse than talking to a nothing. So, down? Okay, good. So this is down. Now, where do you get that information? You get it by looking here, but you can also get it by this part right here, right? That's negative, so that's going to be down, right? Where's the y-intercept? Approximately. Approximately, where's the y-intercept going to be? 12? Kind of. Each one of these are 2. Language, young man. So let's say somewhere around 13, 14, right? 14, and we're going to get that from here. Okay? Where's my zeros? What's the value of my zeros? They're by 2s. So this would be good. Negative 3 or positive 3? 9. And if you take a look here, this came from here and here. But if you look at the equation, they're also here and here, right? But you have to remember in the equation, the signs are opposite, okay? No, that's in the next one, okay? Line of symmetry goes right down the middle, which looks to be about 3, good. Right? That's the line that cuts it straight down the middle. It's also, if I add these two together, negative 3 plus 9 divided by 2. So that equals 6 divided by 2, which equals 3. Now, is this a max value or a min value with that parabola? It's a max because it's the highest point, right? So it's a max. So this is factored form because this is factored here, right? So from the factored form, we're able to get the zeros in the direction of opening directly from it. Okay? Let's try the next one. What kind of form is this? Is this factored, standard, or vertex? And I love how Fiona and Alicia are doing it in chat, which is perfect. Oh, Jordan, you have a question? Yeah, I'll probably put a link in there for every day. I could put a link in there, like one standard link that goes every, like this. Yeah, there'll be a link in there every day, and I'll erase the previous one. Okay? Right. Perfect, Alicia. This is standard. Thanks, Chris. So this is standard form, right? So let's take a look at what we can get from standard form. And what's each one of these lines? 2? All right, so each one of these lines here is 2. Direction of opening this, up or down? Up. Perfect. Okay. Pardon? Standard form is where it looks like yeah. We're going to go through that one more page down. We'll go through all that again. Okay. Now, if you take a look here again, our direction of opening, our direction of opening comes from right here. Is that a positive or negative number? It's a positive, so it's going to be up. Okay. Now, what's my y-intercept on this one? Where does it cross the negative 18? Perfect. And who knew? You look at it here, but you can also get it from the equation right here. Okay. Now, one thing we can't get from standard is zeros. But here are zeros here. That is what, 2 and negative 6. Good. Doesn't matter, right? For some reason I did 2, negative 6. It's the same thing. Don't write them like this, right? That's very different. I list them. Now the line of symmetry, we could look at the graph, right? What did you get, negative 2? But it's also, if you remember, if I add these two up, 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4 divided by 2 equals negative 2. Now, is this a max or a min? A min. Very good. Good. All right. So here is our big list of everything we can get. So this is our standard form. Here, factored form and vertex form. Okay. I may give you guys this. For your notes itself, I may just start at the end of the day. I'll fill them in for you. But this is something that you want to pay attention to. Okay. So looking at our factored form, and let me write one out here. Let's say it's like y equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 4, right? Looking at standard form, can I get direction of opening from standard form? Yes. Okay, good. It'd be 2. Is it up or down? It's a positive number. Up. Negative number would be down. And that's for A. All right. Max and min. Okay. Max. So if I drew a parabola like this, the vertex is the highest it can get. So if it's the maximum number you can get. Okay? Where min is the lowest number. Okay? Max highest, min would be lowest. We're going to work with this tomorrow when we start to solve. Well, maybe we'll work with it this afternoon. So for example, if Cameron kicked the ball, and we wanted to find the highest height of it, we'd be finding the max. Or let's say we go back to grade 3. Jordan dives in the pool. We want to see how far down the pool he gets. We're finding the min. Okay? Can we find the vertex here? Just straight by looking at this? No. Can we find zeros? Yes or no? No. Let's use root. But we can't find the zeros. Right? But that was for a different one, right? Well, no, we did, but that's because we had the graph to look at it. If we didn't have the graph, we could not find the zeros from it, right? Or we couldn't find the line of symmetry because we wouldn't know what the zeros were. But we can find the y-intercept, right? If you look here, the y-intercept was which value, the A, B, or C value? Well, if you look here, the purple, right? The C value. Good. So this here is the C value. Okay? It would be -4 in this case. Okay? Let's change my color here so we have some kind of difference. Let's go purple. Okay? Is it? Okay. How glitchy? Alright. That might be something, I'll take that up with tech later today. Maybe I'll have to turn down my resolution or something like that. Pardon? I just took away the max and min so I could write. Alright, so here is, let's put a 4 in front here. So let's say we have something in factored form. Can we look at the direction of opening and figure it out? We have an A value, right? Right? So it's the exact same. So I'm just going to put an arrow up here. If the number in front is positive, it's going to go up. If the number is negative, it's going to be opening down. Can we find the vertex from this? No. Can we find the zeros? Yes. I said no up here because we don't have, if we go back to this one, right? Our zeros were these two numbers here, right? But signs are opposite. We don't have those two numbers in brackets up here. So yes, and I'll highlight them. Let's go purple highlight here, right? My screen's frozen. All right, let me unshare and reshare. Screen number 3. There we go. You're good again? Okay. Maybe I just have to refresh it then. Just tell me when that happens. So these ones here, I can find it. In this case, it's the R and the S value, right? Oops. Yeah. R and S. Okay. Can we find the axis of symmetry? This time, yes. It's R plus S divided by 2. In this case, it'd be negative 2 plus 3 divided by 2. Whenever you hear a little click like that, that's my email. So I just got to make sure someone's not emailing me in concern with. Oh, we're good. We can't. We can't. Oops, where's my red pen? Here it is. This one we can't. No go there. Okay? So you can see like everything gives you a little bit. There's not one thing that gives you everything. Now let's go down to the very last one. Let's use. No, if you remember though, these are in the land of opposites, right? So when you pull them out, they're going to be positive, and this is going to be negative. Because in order to solve it, I would go x minus 3 equals 0, x equals 3. And that's how I get to that spot. Okay? Now let's give another one here. What if I have y equals 2, let's go negative 2, bracket x minus 4 squared plus 3. This is what it would look like in actuality. Can I find the direction of opening? Do we have an a value? Over here? Yeah. So it's the exact same again, right? So if the number in front is positive, it opens up. If it's negative, we go down. Can we find the vertex? Yes. It's h, comma, k is the vertex. And remember, h is in the land of opposites. So my vertex of this one would be 4, comma 3. No zeros, right? Nope, for the axis of symmetry, it's just h. That's it. And then no y-intercept. Yeah, it's also, yeah, you can. It's also in your notes, right? If you go back to your content on Tuesday, it's right there. Although mine may make a little more sense. Where's my online lessons? Because I'm writing it out at the end here. I'm going to publish this as well. Like I'm going to make a page with this page on it as well. Yes, you will. Yeah, you have time during the day. All right. So let's go through this. Let's use this one. This is in what kind of form? Who can tell me? Is it in vertex or, oh sorry, it tells you. It's in factored, right? Okay. Hey, no one answered it. All right, so let's find the zeros here. So if y equals negative 3, bracket x minus 4, x plus 2. So step 1, where's my zeros? The way I find my zeros is I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to make it equal to 0. X minus 4 equals 0. Then I have to rearrange it. X equals 4. And this one, x plus 2 equals 0. Rearrange it, x equals negative 2. Now you'll say, Mr. O, why don't I just flip the number there, right? Make that a positive 4, make that a negative 4. The reason I don't want you to do that right away is what if I had this? something like that. The answer for this would not be negative 6 and 3, okay, because there's a 2 there. What I want you to understand is that this would be 2x plus 6 equals 0. Then you have to rearrange it. 2x equals negative 6, x equals negative 6 divided by 2, x equals negative 3. Okay? So don't get caught thinking you just switch the numbers. Although, hypothetically, if there's just if there's just x's, you can switch the signs and you're good. Okay? So we're done step 1 there. Step 2, find the midpoint. How do I find the midpoint? The midpoint's another word for axis of sim. Oh my god, I cannot spell. How do I find the axis of symmetry? How do I find it over here? I took my zeros, and what do I do to them? I took my zeros and added them up. So my zeros are 4 and negative 2. 4 and negative 2 are my zeros. So I add them up. 4 plus negative 2. I divide it by 2. Right? So if I'm building my vertex, that's my x value in my vertex. And now how to get my y value is I sub this in for x to get my y. So let's do that in purple. So my original equation is y equals negative 3 bracket x minus 4 x plus 2. Then I'm going to sub in my number. Oops. Therefore, my y value of my vertex is 27. How do we feel about what I just did? Seeing that we already did this the Friday before we left. This was the lesson from the Friday before we left. All right. Good. So let's do this one here. This one's a little different. Is this in factored form? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, it is. Like this is common factored right now. Okay? Like before this, it would have looked like this. It would have been 2x squared plus 20. Then you would have factored out the 2x. Oh. Okay? So this is in factored form. So let's find the vertexes. Let's find the vertex. So we got to do the exact same thing we did before. But this time, now it would make it easier if I put brackets around here. I bet you would have all said yes, since it has 2 sets of brackets. Right? So let's pull both these out and make them equal to 0. 2x equals 0, x plus 10 equals 0, so x equals negative 10, and we're going to divide, this will be x equals 0, because I'll divide by 2. So my zeros are 0 and -10. Now, how do I find my axis of symmetry? Can someone tell me? What did I do here? You add your two zeros. Oh, where's my pen? You add your two zeros and divide by 2. That'd be -5 divided by 2, which equals -2.5. So that is going to be, like, in my vertex, this is going to be my x value. Okay? Now, what do we do with that x here? So, very good. And after our lesson here, I'm going to email you. A student in class did this, did this step work as their culminating task, and I'll forward you that individual sheet so you can kind of have as a cheat sheet. Okay? So now we're going to put it back in. So go back to the equation, and hypothetically, we're using proper terminology here. It'd be f of -2.5 equals, so we're just going to plug in -2.5 everywhere there's an x. So that equals -5 times 12.5. And that, my brain's not working, 62.5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, come on, phone. Am I right? Who's run the number so far? Oops. Yeah. And that goes in here. As messy as I can write it. Ça va? Now, we're going to do two more here. I'm going to jump to this one first. Then we'll go back to the hard one. This one wants us to find the y-intercept. What format do we need this in to get to the y-intercept? Can someone tell me what format we need? Good. Standard form. So how do we move from factored form to standard form? Pardon? It's the F word. No. Not philandering. It's the four-letter F word. Foil. Right? So we need to FOIL these two brackets out. The two just hangs out at the first. Okay? Right? Because you do your brackets first. So 3x times 6x, so 3x times 2x, 6x squared. 3x times 5, 15x. Negative 1, just going to switch the sign. Yeah. Okay, let me unshare and share. Two, 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 two. 3. No, it's Teams. Alright, do you guys see my screen now? Alright. Then, collect my like terms first. Good. Then I distribute, or rainbow. So who can tell me what's the y-intercept for this one? Good. I put these two together. Yeah, collect like terms. So my y-intercept is negative 10. Good. Okay, now the hardest one. Now in the future, this will be a question I ask you. Do you want me to give you like a blank set of notes so you could work with it as I go? Like I could send you this note with all the blank spots so you could fill it in as I fill it in. Oh, no, it's only if you want. Now, you can do it on a blank piece of paper just the same, right? Or if you don't like to write, yeah, it's all there for you. All right, this one here, we have to find the vertex. So what form do we need to get to find the vertex? Pardon? Can you guys see the chart? Oh, there you go. We need zeros. We're trying to find the zeros. We need to get the factors for them, right? And realistically, we'll learn, you're right, actually, Cam. To find the vertex, we need to go to vertex form, but we're going to learn that next week of what's called completing the square. And Z, you're right as well. But for right now, we don't know how to make that jump. So we're going to do the long way right now, which is to go to the factored form, right? So the first thing we need to do is factor it. If we all love factoring, although I think you guys are really good at it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to common factor out a negative 3 out of this. So it makes the numbers I work with a little bit easier. So I'm going to take a negative 3 out. So that's going to leave me with x squared minus 7, minus 8, minus 8x. Yeah. So I took 3 out of everything. So I divided everything by negative 3. That's how I got these numbers here. Yeah, we'll leave the 3 up front, right? What multiplies to get x squared? An x and an x. what multiplies to get to 12? But you could also, pardon? Good. And we can add those two numbers up to get negative 8. Right? So there's our factored form there. And then we're right back to this question here. Right? Can someone tell me my zeros? Good. 2 and 6. Yep. Because there's no number here, we can just pull the numbers out and switch the signs. Like, realistically, this looks like this. X minus 6 equals 0. How come we won't write that down? Rearrange it. Right? And same with the other one. So now we have our zeros. How do we find, how do we find our line of symmetry? Good. So 2 plus 6 divided by 2. Oh, why do they give us numbers with decimal places? Oh, no, they don't. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So that's going to be my number that goes there. Then, what do I do with this? Who wants to tell me what I do with it? Cam, you told me last time. Yeah. Yeah? Plug it in. What was it, Colin? Alright. So now I just plug it in. I can plug it into this equation up here, or I can plug it into this equation or this equation. It doesn't matter. I'll use the original one here. Y equals negative 3 times 2 squared plus 24 times 2 minus 36. If you've got a nice calculator, you can plug that in just the way it looks and just press equal and it'll spit out the final answer. If you don't have a calculator, Photomath will do it, yes. Is that 0? Is that what everyone got? Let me double check. Zero, right? Therefore, my vertex happens at 2, 0. Now, if I want to, pardon? No, if I want to sketch this, my zero's at 2 and 6. So I put my dots at 2 and 6. My vertex happens at 2, 0. Oh, that's not my vertex. 1 second here. What the hell happened here? Oh, shoot. Who didn't catch my mistake here? 2 plus 6 equals 8. That equals 4. Oh, did I? I made a big mistake. Well, then tell me. Then you plug 4 in, yeah. That's why it's good to go back and kind of double check. Because once I looked at it, I knew my numbers were wrong, right? Like I went to graph it and I realized, well, my vertex can't be there. No, I found my error. That's 96. Oops, wrong one. Minus 36. Okay. So what is the answer? Christopher got 12. Therefore, my answer is 2 and 4 and 12. So 4 and 12, which makes sense because it goes down, right? Boom. Looks like that. Okay? So that's it for the lesson part. I'm going to stop my recording.